Live.
Awesome names.
Looks like we got another one.
Right, and we are live.
Yeah, it's all. What?
Hello everyone.
Welcome to number 3 of the MTFU Tuesdays. Hang on. This takes forever. Number 3. Who thought we'd even make it this far? Not me. No, basically today it's all about what you can build while you're out in the woods. So, I did post a Facebook question on Facebook. Where else would I post it? Just asking people what they would go out and build. Shelters and fires from Jason. A nice dinner from Grizzly J. Dom Lewis, upside down fire with a 3-point reflector.
Nice.
Where was it? A table from Andy Jobber.
Yeah.
And quite a bit, to be honest, I can't even see straight still, so that's enough of that list. So, if we just go around, obviously, everyone knows who everyone is, or they should do.
Yeah.
Where am I? I don't know who you are.
Why can't we see Shane?
Because I don't have a webcam. I
So
will
what
be
needs to be
getting,
said?
I'll be getting one just after Christmas, and then you'll be able to see my gorgeous face.
Awesome.
It's a lie. It's too ugly to be seen.
So, Bruce, do you want to start us off with what you...
Yeah, well, it's sort of, a pivotal part of bushcraft. It's going out and crafting stuff outside, so it's sort of coming up with ideas that you can build. Obviously, the first thing people think of is like a shelter. So a shelter, a spoon, fire reflectors, and things like that. So it's just sort of worth going through different sorts of shelters. Just so you can crash the night without a tarpaulin or anything. Just basically a sleeping bag or a wool blanket. From scratch, minimal kit. And then fire reflectors is all like finessing a camp. It just depends how much time you've got and the amount of energy you expel building the shelter in the first place and gathering firewood and all that. So but if you're regularly going back to a camp, then you can refine it all the time. You got like a normal A-frame shelter where, well, I've got a pen, where you'd get two wires of a tree and then put a main beam, that sort of thing. So that's just you, but you need to get the forks of the tree and interlock them and then sit the spine of it on top. And if the ground's a bit soft, try and look there, it'd be worth banging some pegs in the bottoms of the feet there, because that will stop it splaying out once you've got the weight on it. So then you just lay sticks all the way down it, all the way down both sides, but the length of it, when you're laying inside it, you've got to allow enough length so your feet don't touch the ground and your head is inside it, because you can easily make them too short. So as soon as you get in, your feet hit the bottom of the shelter and your head's sticking out, and then it starts raining and you're just going to get a wet head, so it's just pointless. What's another one? In the summer, you're better to have it with the wind blowing into it. So before you build it, work out which way the wind's blowing. So the wind's blowing into it, because then all the mosquitoes will stay in the calm air behind the shelter, whereas in the winter you're better off having the wind blowing over it, so you're trying to keep warm inside of it, which makes perfect sense. But it's the mosquitoes really in the summer. If you have it with your wind blowing in, they'll just stay away. Another thing to do once you've built it and put all your debris on top and your big pile of leaves, if you light your fire and then get a load of leaves, so it's like just make a little ball of leaves in your hand, so they're really really smoky. Dump that in there for a little while, so it's just loads of smoke. One, it will show you where all your holes are because the smoke will come out through the holes in the roof, so you can put more debris on there, and it will make all the insects bugger off. So all the spiders and anything, the ticks and sort of things that are going to bite you, especially in a foreign country, and scorpions and all sort of nasty stuff like that. But even in this country, you're not going to have creepy crawlies crawling over and getting in your bed and earwigs in your ears and stuff. So yeah, so that's A-frame shelter, and the insulation. You want about a foot thick of debris put on top once you put all your sticks in, about a foot. And that should be enough just to keep sort of light rain off. If it's going to absolutely hammer down, you're still going to get a bit wet. It's still going to drip. But yeah. Anyone else know any more about A-frame shelters? Anything you want to add?
Well, I've seen one.
He's built one.
I have seen a design of a one where someone uses a longer top bit, longer ridge beam, and actually hangs the pot off there with a little fire in front.
That's cool. Because with the spine and the outline legs, you should be able to stand your weight on it. You should be able to stand on top of it like a tripod. You know, if you can walk up the spine on the back, it's strong enough.
Yeah.
Once you put a foot load of leaves on there, then it rains. That gets a lot bloody heavier, and you don't want that falling on. You don't want that falling on you in the night.
No.
You know, it's probably not going to hurt you, but you're not going to be having a nice night's sleep. So you want it nice and strong.
I don't know. I think if it fell on you and your head was a couple of feet in from the end, suffocation. That's a lot of weight on there. I mean, those you've got a couple of feet of insulation. There's going to be, especially if it's wet, it's going to be a substantial amount of weight.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at 6 foot by about 4 foot by about a foot depth.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at about half a ton of weight sitting on top of you.
Yeah. And if you, especially if you're in like a bivvy with the thing over your head, you just sort of stick in place. Yeah.
On the note of trying to waterproof and make sure that the all of your sticks that are going up the top, that you trim off the ends of them so that they're a little bit more flush, and the insulation covers the tips rather than having the tips poke through the insulation so that the water's not running down on you.
And then that's right. Sound just cut out. Just get your lean-to, which is dead simple. Just so everyone knows what we're talking about. Right, so very roughly, how it is here. Right, that's your lean-to shelter. So you build your fire in front of that, and then that would be with the back of it to the wind. When you're laying underneath there, under like a pile of leaves or something, that's also going to reflect heat back at you to keep you warm. And that obviously you have piles and piles of insulation. You can also fill in these ends here, and then people don't really realise how much effort it is to build something like that. You know, you're going to have to be drinking water, loads of sticks around, and you've also got to gather your firewood. You're all locked up. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Your picture's just gone off, that's all. Apparently we're getting a lot of hissing.
Yeah, you hear me yet?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
I can hear you.
That's right.
Can't see you.
Can't see you though.
Ah, right. Camera turned off for some reason. Where to get to? Yeah, so you fill the size in, but then obviously you don't really realise how much energy. But the next step, if you're out there for a while, you can also like fill. Easy to. the next day you can put the sticks down the other side and make more of a tent, which is more of a permanent sort of structure, and then move your fire around to one end. You know, because that'll be a dance site better. And a bit of a bigger living area, and it's going to keep your kit drier as well. But the amount of effort it takes. We built an A-frame sort of tent shape one, and that took 3 of us all day to do that. And that was with, you know, a good foot of insulation and cutting down the ferns, and then you can quite easily build all the shelter, and then you get to 6 o'clock at night when it's dark and you think, oh, we've got no wood for a fire because we've gathered every single twig in the woods to build a debris shelter. There's one of John Carlisle's camps where he builds I think it was a 2-item camp or 3-item camp. We just went out with a lighter and a pot and gathered some water and built a debris shelter, but he ran out of firewood and was sitting there burning bits of his shelter through the night. They wakes up in the morning, there's no shelter, it's just burnt a lot.
Class.
Yeah, it's quite a good one actually, because he goes and forages and finds a load of sap to get the fire going. That's the other thing, is scavenging tinder is a bitch, especially this sort of time of year when it's wet. It's a bit.
I think with building a shelter,
Yeah.
if it was for a long-term thing anyway, it's all about keeping your mind occupied as well, isn't it? So building a larger shelter is going to give you a lot more to keep your focus.
Yeah, but it is the amount of energy. If you think I'm going to build, you know, Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, you know, you're just going to bite off more than you can chew, and you'll end up using up all your energy and having a half-finished shelter and having a very, very bad night. You know, we're not talking bushcraft. We're talking like survival-ish. It's you just don't want to push your luck. You know, do what's achievable and then add to that. You know, that's probably the best bet. You know, the A-frame is probably easiest to build on your own. Then a lean-to, if there's a couple of you, and then you can go for the full shebang, and then you just keep extending it and building other little shelters and, you know, wood stores and all that sort of stuff and fire reflectors. But it's definitely the amount of energy and the amount of daylight you've got and the amount of resources and, you know, and obviously permission to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing. And that's the key thing, especially in England, having the permission to do it.
Yeah, but then no one's really going to get that upset if you're just building a debris shelter, which is, you know, a load of sticks and leaves. As long as you're not chopping trees down and doing any physical damage, and once it's covered with leaf litter, no one's going to see it. It's going to be pretty hidden. You know.
What was the name of that young lad? That was he Phil or Tank Tracks? Got us the sub a few days ago, because he'd done a brilliant little shelter.
That was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, and he dug that was a full
Dug it
over
down.
and then dug down below the water table. Yeah, and
Really, yeah, below the water table, unfortunately. But,
yeah, he had a puddle, but
brilliant
Young
idea
Bushcraft.
otherwise. Yeah.
yeah,
Brilliant idea otherwise, and great the way he'd actually put it together, him and his friends. But
yeah, it was good. And he had a chimney and a fire at the back as well, didn't he?
that was it.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with that.
Yeah.
You've got that primitive survival
He
as
could
well.
put a
haven't
lot of adults to shame. That lad could. A lot of adults to shame.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So then, what else? We've got fire reflectors. Fire reflectors, you don't want to be building them out of foraged wood, because that's going to be too dry and you're just going to end up with a big fire.
Yeah.
So
Unless it's been pissing it down all day.
Yeah, unless it's very, very wet wood, but it needs to be sort of a fair enough distance away.
Yep.
But the easiest way of doing it is just bang 4 stakes in the ground and then slot logs in between.
Yeah.
And it'll keep the wind off your fire as well, stop blowing the ash and reflect the heat back at you.
And come the morning, you can use that to you can burn that in the morning to make your breakfast off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's generally what I do.
When I did that 5-item kit, I built a massive fire reflector, and then when it come to bedtime, I just pulled it over the fire because the fire was dying right down, and that there's a big pile of wood, and it kept going all night. That was good. I think I got up about 3 or 4 in the morning and chucked a few more logs on, but yeah, it kept going. It was good. But where the wood was, it sort of where the wood was so wet, it dried the front of it, so it caught, but then just burnt slowly. It was good.
Yeah.
But we had
Oh,
so much rain before that.
That
Nice.
video that I've done with Matt and Bushcraft and Pasty Pete and his mate Gaz.
Yeah.
I know it was short and sweet, but hey, Minecraft videos. There you go. But that night, I mean, all we did, we took all the wood 'cause it was soaking wet, snapped it all up, chopped it all up, and literally just sat it around the fire. We had a reflector at the back, but we put all the wood around the fire, just surrounding it. And then all you just kick a little bit in throughout the night, just kick a little bit in here and there, and you know, that does the job.
Yeah. There's Scouting Free did a video on how much energy, how much wood you need, and it's quite a good one actually. Dry wood, dry mature wood, as in like a piece the size of your forearm, will give you light for 20 minutes. So that's the most of the heat. It's not embers. It's just, you know, when it's actually burning, that will burn for 20 minutes, good burn time, and then obviously you've got embers. So if you want an hour, you need 3 bits of wood the size of your forearm. Now if it's wet, you need 3 times as much. So you need 9 bits of log every hour when it's wet. So then you think you're going to be sleeping for, what, 8 hours? That's a lot of wood.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot of wood. You know, and yeah, okay, it still kicks off a bit of heat, but you're going to have to wake up cold and chuck some more wood on that. You know, you probably sleep
always
through.
halfway.
Yeah.
Halfway through your sleep, you end up waking up, chucking some more on, going back to sleep again.
Yeah. But it's quite a good sort of, gives you an idea of how much wood you're going to need. And if you stand there in the morning, you think, oh, I've got 6 logs there, that'll be enough for the night. No chance. You know, and if it's wet, you need 3 times more. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that night we went through. Well, all of it was dead full, about arm width.
Yeah.
And it was all like, well, dead standing. You know, I'd already pulled down, and there must have been about 20 of them.
Yeah.
And that lasted us the night, and
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we didn't get there till. Well, it was just getting dark, end of summer, so you know, 6-7 o'clock, and then that lasted through till about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And the other thing you do, you can, if you're going on a camp with a few other people, you can spend ages collecting wood, and then someone goes, oh, let's have a big burn up, and then the lot's gone in 20 minutes. You know, that's another thing. You really need to sort of ration it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to have a terrible night. And if you ever leave camp and sort of go off and have a wee, or just go and have a walk round, just bring some wood back with you. It saves so much energy. You know, why never come back empty-handed to a camp? It's just silly. You know. And then other things, you obviously build like pot stands and loads of things like that around fires, and hang all your pots on there, and keep some water going all the time. You know, just keep a pot of water sort of hot, and then you just put it into the flames, and then you've got boiling water dead quick. You know. Obviously, don't let them boil dry though, especially aluminium stuff, because the bottom will just fall out.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a good portion of us have.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what other things can you build? Or build or make? Doesn't really. There's nothing.
Chairs.
Yeah, chairs, benches, beds.
Toilet seat.
There was a really, really good guy on YouTube. When I first started getting into bushcraft, I watched his videos. He's a Welsh guy. I can't. His name on YouTube is. It's just a collection of numbers and letters. It's like WZ136 something.
Okay.
But all of his videos are about building shelters and things to go along with shelters, building raised beds inside your lean-to shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally just dropped off the face of YouTube. No one's seen or heard of anything of them. But his videos are really top quality.
No, right.
I'll try and find him, and when this goes live not live onto YouTube, but when the video's uploaded to YouTube afterwards, I'll put the link in the video description, so if anybody wants to check him out. There's some really, really good stuff that he does in there.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. It's sort of you get someone and they're really, really good, and they get to like sort of 500 subs, and they just disappear. It's weird. But then family commitments, or he's moved away, or got a different job, and it's a shame, really. But
they were cracking videos. I mean, they were really in depth. I mean, he made a lot of things that he used in cable ties, but then cable ties are, you know, you can use them as a as a semi-permanent thing. You know, just
Yeah, as long as
usually
you, as long
knots
as you,
afterwards.
yeah, as long as you collect them up after, it doesn't matter. I quite like the scaffolding mini bungees. They're quite good. Anyone seen them?
No.
Have I got any around?
Scaffolding mini bungee.
Yeah, hang on. See if I can find one.
Yeah, I think I saw one. I was watching. What was it? I was watching. That Mountain Men on History,
Yeah.
and they were doing trapping rabbits,
All right.
and what was I going to say? Yeah, they were using the willow instead of snare wire. They were using literally the red tip of the willow, to turn round and hook tie the noose knot in it to make their snares, and
Oh.
they came back and it did actually work. I was like, because you wouldn't think something, a little spindly bit of willow would be as strong as what it is, but that's obviously another thing that you could build if you're out and you're just practicing and stuff like that. So obviously you don't want to be leaving them lying around.
No, just in case something does get caught up in one of them.
I'm back. Did you miss me? Yeah. Right. Yeah, what it is, you know when you see like plastic sheeting put on the outside of scaffolding on building sites?
Yeah.
It's like you've got a spiky bit that will spikes through the plastic, then a big lump of elastic, and then the other end is look at the camera, is a hook. So that hook goes in there. But if you're tying sticks together or tying stuff to the back of your kit, they're really good to have. They're kind of like renewable cable ties. Come on, click in, piggy thing. There we go. Yes, you've got a loop like that, but you can choke them right down. So got quite a good grip. They're not sort of overly strong, but for just holding sticks together and stuff, they're pretty cool. But that hook just hooks in there, but you can stab that through a tarp if you've got like a disposable tarp or bin bags or something, or just hold a couple of sticks together, or hang pots on the back of your bag. But yeah, but if you're walking past a building site, go and ask the scaffolder if they've got any of those. They just have thousands of them just in bags. But you only need sort of half a dozen, and they're bloody useful. But it's a reusable thing, and usually they're sort of relatively bright colours. Whereas cable ties, because they're black, well, a lot of cable ties are black anyway, you tend to lose them, and then you're leaving plastic behind, which is not good.
No.
So, yeah.
I mean, they'd actually be quite good for tying the top of your like a wooden tripod as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, they're not very good with heat. But yeah, if you're making a tripod or a shelter or something, that's fine. But for making a fire, probably it depends how tall you do it. As long as you're out of the flames and you're not going to build your fire too big.
But as you're talking about how to tie it and stuff, what about different forms of cordage from the wild? I mean, what would you use? Like nettles or anything like that?
I mean, you've got nettles.
Nettles is good, but it's a bit of a faff, to be honest. And you will sting yourself because you just
Hazel.
Hazel bark is quite good. Strips of bark. Blackberry's quite good as well.
Blackberry.
If you get bramble, a long
of course. Yeah, the amount of times that shit's tripped me over.
Yeah, exactly. you just run your knife along, take the thorns off it, and then just split it down the middle, and you just use that, and you sort of roll it and take the pith out of it the same way you do as with nettles. And no, that's a pretty strong cordage, and it's dead quick. Because you think a bramble is like 20 feet long sometimes. You just jump into a load of brambles and just yank one out. Yeah, they go on for bloody miles.
Yeah.
Lime bark as well.
Natural cordages. There's so many. What was the other one you used? Baytree willow herb, is it?
The rosebeer willow herb. That was a faff. That was an absolute faff.
and nettles as well. It's really down to the time of year.
Yeah.
Like this time of the year, nettles are rubbish. They're all dead. All their little stubborns that have just sort of sprouted. So you got to get nettles bang on.
Yeah.
Whereas things like bark and brambles are pretty consistent all year round. And then obviously vines, ivy and things like that. Honeysuckle. It's enough because it doesn't have to be super strong. Just keep wrapping it round and wrapping it round, and it's just like that exponential strength that you build up and just keep wrapping. So
Yeah. Well, you can use the little thin roots off the pine trees as well.
yeah, roots, yeah. There's plenty of cordage out there, and cordage is one of the main things you should really learn, because that's one of the sort of main survival items. Because without cordage, you can't make fire because you won't be able to make a fire bow. But then I don't know anyone who can make cordage strong enough to withstand a fire bow. So it is a skill.
That's what you got
There's a
bootlaces
horse
for.
nearby, and you can nick some of its tail, and
Yeah, but you're talking like using animal skin or leather, or just use your shoelaces.
yeah.
There's certain things that are very, very hard to build out there. So, what else can we build? Obviously, carving a spoon. I've got a few spoons I've carved.
I can honestly say I've never ever carved a spoon.
Oh, they're awesome. It's nothing to do with carving a spoon. It's just that sort of relaxing and chilling out and doing something.
I did carve this plastic toothbrush that's foldable. Absolutely brilliant. Took me ages.
You what? No, you're just going to carve a razor blade in it like they do in prison.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got all the different types of like fire layers and stuff like that. Because you've got upside down ones and teepee fire layers and all that sort of stuff. So you could do them.
Yeah, it's a spoon I've carved, but just the knot I had a big knot there, so it's made the handle sort of
Ergonomic.
Ergonomic, yeah. That came out right. And then I've just put a spike on the end for stabbing things to eat with, sort of use like chopsticks. And I did a more wiggly one like a snake, just for fun. And this crappy little one here, this is just a lump of pine from like B&Q. It's not from a tree. Well, it's from a tree, but you know what I mean. It's pre-seasoned pine, but it's really light. There's no sort of body to it. It's horrible. But at the end of the day, it will. If you want to practice spoon carving, just go to B&Q and get a bit of 2x2 and hack away at it.
Half away. Yep.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Or
And
grab an old pallet or something, maybe.
Another one there. Yeah. But the pine's quite good because it's nice and soft, and it's not going to cane your knives too much. Because anything else, as soon as it sort of dries out, if you go, I got given a load of eucalyptus, and it had been cut down for a week, and I thought, I'll be able to carve with that, and it was just like concrete. It was so hard. Once
Eucalyptus is quite tough anyway, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a hardwood, but it holds so much water. But when you carve it, it's really likely to crack as well because it dries out too quick. I was going to try and carve a Kursk or something, and just couldn't. I couldn't even touch it. It's just solid. You might be able to do it with a power tool or something, but it's not worth it.
But that's another thing. You've got to learn all the different woods because some are a lot easier to carve than others.
Yeah, definitely. I think my favourite is sycamore. Sycamore's really nice because it's like a very, very pale, like almost like bone, and it's nice and easy, and there's not much grain to it. It's really good. It don't like split. That's probably the best thing I've carved. But every time I've been to the woods since, I haven't found a bit. But a lot of people go out and they buy those crook knives, which are incredibly dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Most people would have cut themselves with one. But the other thing you can do is get an ember out the fire and sit an ember in there and just blow it, and then let it burn. So you carve your spoon and leave that filled in, and then just keep burning it, and then flick the ember out, put another ember in, burn it, and then scrape it away, and just keep burning and burning until you've burnt a dip in your spoon. So that was the first spoon I did. I did actually burn it, and I got that actually really thin, but I don't actually know.
I watched that video the other day of that spoon.
Yeah.
That's used a lot. That method is used a lot for bowls and cups and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it really does take a long time.
Mm.
Really does. It probably if you got like some like barbecue charcoal and put a couple of briquettes on there, then that would probably burn and sink in. But it's such a faff. I think it was Alfie Aesthetics was trying to do it, and he ended up sort of stabbing it with his knife, and that's how he snapped the tip of his knife off.
All right.
He's like trying to rush it, going, "Come on, come on!" He's stabbing away and snap the tip of his knife off, and had to get his knife rebuilt. But yeah, it takes forever. But if you can do it, I think he was trying to make like a tankard. But to make a container out in the woods is awesome. Instead of sewing a birch bark bucket.
Actually, while we're on the subject of carving stuff with knives, what we didn't mention last week is an essential bit of kit. First aid kit.
Yeah, definitely.
You should always carry one, especially carving
Yeah.
stuff, building stuff. You're going to be using axes, saws, knives.
Well, really, if you're going out at all, you should have some
Yeah.
sort of first aid kit, anyways. So.
If you're just going out for a walk, you don't need a massive one. But if you're going out overnight and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're going to be you're going to be building stuff and carving stuff,
Yeah.
you need a good first aid kit.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
the basics you would recommend that?
Well, obviously plasters.
Obviously.
Then some sort of antiseptic.
Couple of bandages.
Large. If you're using an axe or something, you want to have some decent sized bandages, and
Yeah.
if you get the big ones, the big long ones, then you can just cut off exactly what you need as well. So
Yep.
if you've got something that's this big, and you just need a little one on your finger, then you can just cut off a small strip of it, wrap it around, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and things like cohesive bandages. They're like a very stretchy bandage, but it sticks to itself.
Yeah.
Cause that's the other thing. You put your foot down a rabbit hole and you get a bad sprain. But you can use that as like a tourniquet if you do get a bad cut, or just a sprain, or if you twist your knee, or. And the other thing is as well, when you're out there, you could come across someone else who's injured themselves. So it's not just for yourself. So you need to sort of think, and then obviously, painkillers, upset stomachs, mosquito spray, something for mosquito bites. You can go on for ages. But the little steri strips as well, they're quite good.
So what Bruce is saying is basically just take boots with you.
Yeah, take boots.
That's probably one of the most important things to wear, really, when you're going out.
Yeah.
It's a decent pair of footwear.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like I said that last week. If you're going out in the woods, you're not hiking miles, so you might as well get yourself a cheap pair of steel toe caps. While you're learning to use an axe, there's no point ending up with 3 toes.
Yeah.
And you end up kicking trees and kicking firewood around and trying to break stuff. And
Bolt-on steel toe caps?
you what?
What, bolt-on steel toe caps?
No, just
Oh, you mean the boots?
Just buy steel toe cap boots.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Even rigger boots. They're perfectly decent. And if you're only going to be wandering half a mile, you don't have to worry about the weight of them.
Yeah.
And they're darn sight bloody safer. If you drop anything, or just drop a knife, it's going to go straight for a pair of trainers.
Depends on the weather conditions too, though. Don't be caught out with steel-toed boots or steel-shank boots when you're in the dead of winter, like if you've got uber cold temps.
Yeah, they do something here. The other ones I found on Amazon. I've got a pair upstairs. Flight Safe safety boots, which are carbon fibre toe caps. Because I did some work at Stansted Airport, and they all had them. And I thought, well, that's a good idea.
I used to have a pair which were Tufnell toe caps.
All right.
It's the strongest steel, but basically it's just cotton and some kind of a glue or
Right.
what do you call it?
Yeah. But they're a lot lighter, than steel toe caps, and they're not going to suck the heat out as well. And I think they were crap, but they were about 16, 17 quid. Which, they're all right for a pair of boots that you're not going to be hiking miles in. So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Steve's. I do like steel toe caps, but I wear them all day at work anyway. So once you break them in, they do become comfy. You sort of get used to it. But then you can get steel toe cap trainers now as well, can't you? Old screw fix.
Yeah.
So there's sort of so much more market than there ever used to be on safety equipment, and even like safety glasses. They're actually bloody useful walking through the woods, and you're not going to stab anything in your eye.
Well, you can get loads of different types of those. I mean, you get the shaded ones and the reflector light ones and all that kind of stuff nowadays, can't you? So.
Yeah.
I've got a pair where the lenses actually pop out of the frames, and you've got 5 different types of lenses, and they're all ballistic grade lenses as well. And they only cost me like 20 quid postage from Fleabay, so
That's not bad. Yeah, it is worth. Especially if you're out on your own. If you just walk along with a pair of safety glasses on, you're not going to stab yourself in the eye. Because if you stab yourself in your eye, you're not going to know how bad it is unless you've got a mirror to look at it. That's a good another thing to put in your safety first aid kit. A mirror is bloody useful. You get an injury on your face, you're going to think it's 10 times worse than it is.
oh yeah.
Like an injury on your scalp is going to bleed like hell, and you're going to think, I've got to go to A&E, I'm going to die, and it's just a scratch. But without being able to actually see it, or use your phone and take a photo of it, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, photos.
That's not a bad one, actually.
Yeah, you can take a photo and you can Instagram it and go, so, am I going to die? Hashtag help me.
Yeah. I'm not brave enough to look at it.
The good thing about taking a photo with your phone as well, you can zoom in with it as well. You can actually see how close up better than you would with a mirror in some cases.
Yeah. But yeah, a mirror's dead useful for any sort of eyes, face. Yeah, or something on your back that you can't actually see. But it's just that sort of thinking about things that could potentially happen, that are bad. So it's going to be, sprains, cuts, burns. They're probably the main ones. But then it'd be good to get some first aid training as well.
Yeah.
First aid courses are so cheap now, so easy to come by.
Yeah.
Just for a basic first aid course.
Yeah. Well, someone has a bloody heart attack, lumping a blooming 70-ton Bergen across a field. At least you'll know how to sort of look after them.
I mean, that's first aid isn't just for bushcraft and survival or whatever. It's for everyday life. It's
Yeah, definitely.
use it at work, use it on the streets. When I done my first aid course, I heard a story of someone actually walking past someone that had a heart attack. People that just walked past them, because they didn't know what to do, or they didn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
And it just took that one person who had first aid training to save that person's life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then there's the people who have got first aid training, but they don't want to get involved because they don't want to be sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
You try and help someone, but if you do something wrong, and it ends up with them injuring themselves, that's why a lot of people just will not bother helping.
No chance.
You know what I mean?
If someone was trying to help me, and unless they did something really retarded, like try to give me a heart bypass or something, or an emergency tracheotomy or something like that, I don't know. But they'd have to do something pretty bloody stupid for me to want to say to sue them. So I'm just gonna shut the door.
Who's in the chat at the moment?
Back.
Is there any questions in the side chat yet, or?
I don't know if someone can just quickly have a look.
Is anyone in the side chat?
Yeah.
Is there anyone out there?
Yeah, we've got
Colonel Chimp.
Mr. Chimp, Carlisle, Red Owl Bushcraft, Bergs, Basher Dweller,
Oh, cool.
Bangers Bushcraft.
Why's
you,
Chimp
Jimmy.
in the chat? He can't read anyways.
Yeah.
So actually, while we're on this, I've got the slideshows from last week that I didn't play.
Cool. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
some
that,
foraging stuff, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah. So I'll do the first one, which is the oak tree. So what I'll do, I'll just set this away now. We can go back live. Right, so that was the it wasn't adverts or commercials or anything like that. It was just a little bit of information about just different little trees, plants, just from the first one. Obviously didn't do it last week because we did kind of blabber on a little bit too much about knives.
Yeah, but knives are important. We like talking about knives.
So, any other uses for oak? Anything that you can all think of?
You can make coffee from the acorns.
Yep.
But you've got to wash them in water because they've got lots of tannins in them.
Yeah.
You've got to
which
really wash.
Yeah, and it's like leave them in a stream for weeks. Or
You can make a bread from it as well, can't you?
Yeah, grind them up, make
Yeah.
flour. But you'd have to add a decent yeast to it, or do like a 50-50 flour, add normal flour and make an acorn flour. You can actually eat oak leaves when they're fresh. When they first start to grow, they haven't leached the tannins into them yet as well.
Wasn't it? I think it was Ray Mears that did a video, I think, on making it's either flour to make some bannock or he did coffee. I can't remember, out of acorns, but he had a mess of them, and that was, he had them sitting in a stream. It was for a couple of days to let them all clear out.
Yeah, but it's the
The time it takes.
I think you can make dyes as well from the bark because the bark's are high in tannins.
Yeah.
That's what they used to veg tan hides.
Some places still do it. If you go to a proper traditional tannery, they'll still use like birch, because you can use birch as well. Birch is high in tannins.
Yeah, well, there's veg tan and oak tan, isn't there? You can get oak tanned hides as well. Very, very similar. But I think it's just because obviously tanning and tannins, there's some connection there somewhere, but I don't know the science of it. So it's some sort of preservative. Yeah. Dead interest in oaks. What else do I know about oaks?
They're good for fires.
You know when you see a dead branch on an oak tree, so you've got perfect oak tree, and then there's a dead branch sticking out. What are they called?
Fire antlers.
Well done, he remembered.
That's
Yeah,
probably
'cause
the
that-
only
that-
specific reason I did oaks this week.
Yeah, just you could be #1 student and get a gold star. Yeah, fire antlers, because it is the perfect firewood. It's dead standing, and it's oak, because oak is just a fantastic wood to burn.
Yeah.
So loads of heat, and it'll burn for ages. So if you can climb up an oak tree or find some that's sort of hanging down, or chuck a rope over it, but then oaks are a bit protected, so you don't really want to take the piss too much.
No. I mean, I've got oaks near me, and literally, they were all overhanging, and the farmer's
Yeah.
just gone along with the
Yeah.
the flails and just flayed the hell out of the
Yeah.
paths.
But the other thing to think about with oak as well, oak is such a heavy wood, and an oak tree will grow, and then it kind of changes direction, and then thinks, oh, I don't want to go that way, and then I'll go that way. And it's over hundreds of years they just grow in these strange ways. But the arm, just one branch of an oak tree, that must weigh so many tons. There's got to be 5 or 6 tons. Yeah, so if you want to try and chop down an oak tree or pull down a fire antler, that's going to be a fair old weight coming down. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's so much heavier than you think. And eucalyptus as well, that's another one, because it draws up so much water. It's just so dense.
Yeah. Well, you've got things like ironwoods and stuff like that. That's quite heavy wood.
Yeah.
John Carlisle.
Yeah.
I think he's able to come on there.
Oh, cool. We've
Do
got
you want
room.
me to drop out? Do you want me to drop out so John can jump in, or?
Hang on.
Or have you got another?
I've got another slot. I'll just have to, while we're talking, if he wants to jump on, I'll add another slot.
Have you
I'll
got?
have to jig things around. No, I haven't got his.
Well, I am out over to you.
Yeah.
What was that, Rob? Sausage?
Sausages? What? What things you can make in the woods?
Yeah. Well, you could then catch yourself a pig.
I'll have to bring my little grandpa fire. So what are we doing tomorrow? Oh, never mind. We'll do that off chat.
Hey, we could try that with a pig. You know that what Bushcraft done, what Gaz done. That push button technique. We could try that with a
Ugh.
pig.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. That would only work. That for people who didn't see it, it was just basically sort of squeezing down a rabbit, so its intestines came out of its back passage. It's a pretty grim video, but if the rabbit has just been killed, like that second you've just wrung its neck, it will work fine. But I think he lost. He did. I was talking to him, and he said a couple of them. I think one of them did burst, which obviously contaminates the inside of the carcass, which is not.
Shocker.
He knows where he went wrong though. He should have swung it round more, got more like centrifugal force going on with it,
Right.
and then went straight for it as well. But like you did say as well, you know, the rigor mortis had kind of set in a little bit on the rabbit.
They were a bit rigor mortis, because by the time you got your camera set up and panning about, I think rigor mortis takes about an hour to come. But yes, but you need the guts to be hot. But with rabbits, you need to gut them straight away, because they'll just it's such a bad smell. They just swell up because their digestive system is just weird. Because there's
Can
bacteria.
you make sausages out of rabbit?
Make sausages out of anything.
They'd be very, very small sausages, because it's the
Nice hot sausage, nice hot rabbit sausages.
Yeah, well, no, it's the skins, isn't it? The skins are the intestines. So obviously, pork sausages are pig's intestines. Chipolatas are lamb's intestines. That's why they're smaller.
Nice.
And then rabbit sausages are a few tiny little. Be like a straw. You do need to wash them out and bleach them and rub them in salt and stuff to get all the.
Rob, if you have a look
Yeah.
on your little, just because it'll probably take too long, if you've got little plus button, you can add people to the call.
I'm not sure I don't
you-
see that here.
You scroll down the bottom of the screen, should have a plus button.
Just on the window where we all are, just underneath your video feed.
Oh yeah, yep.
You'll be able to add Carlisle on.
Add people to the call.
I mean, it's only gonna be another 10. It's only gonna be about 10 minutes or so.
Hang on, I gotta add them to my contacts first, I guess.
Yeah, cool.
We're getting near the hour now.
Yeah. Sing us a song, Anne, while they're doing that.
Well,
Oh, you don't want to hear me sing, mate. You really don't want to hear me sing.
while they're doing that, I'll put the other slideshow on. I won't all.
Another slideshow. You're spoiling us.
Yes, I know.
Self.
And we're back in the room.
And we're back in the room.
Yeah, we'll have to try and get that sorted out. Try and get more people on here for next week. So that, yeah, that Nettles one, that kind of ties into the cordage side of things as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. You can spend all your time making cordage while you're out there, but it's time consuming.
Yeah.
Especially using things like nettles, because you're going to have to dry them and then redo them, and then soak them, and then store them right, and then
Yeah. It's quite a nice little thing if you're just sitting there. You know, it's the same as carving a spoon. It's that, you know, sort of getting up early and listening to the wood sort of wake up and just sitting there whittling away at something, and then a few hours later you've had a couple of cups of coffee and you've got a spoon in your hand and you think, oh, where'd that come from? Because it's not something you really sort of concentrate on. You're just sort of just in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're just trying to waste time and pass time, but if you're trying to rush making cordage, don't bother using nettles.
no.
Just don't bother, because it just takes so long. But if you're good at it, I can make some awesome rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome string.
Because I know my nettle one came out a lot better than the roseberry willow herb.
The one you sent me, Matt, still sat in my drawer. I've used it to tie things up. It's
that's nettle.
It's good stuff. It's pretty. You don't think of a stinging nettle being that strong.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's
Well, the stinging nettle is related to hemp.
Yeah.
And so hemp is good for rope and other things.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
I just thought I'd say it before you did.
Well,
Yeah, but they are related.
Hemp's another. You can use that for things like fishing. Hemp seed.
All right.
It's just an attractant, all the oils and stuff in it. You got to boil it first, but you can still use that for.
Yeah, because nettles go to seed as well. So I
Yeah,
wonder if that'd be
because you can add nettles into flour, I believe, just to add a bit more.
right.
But it's the same as like cattails and stuff. You can add the pollen and use the pollen as in to bulk out your flour.
Yeah, to bulk stuff up.
Yeah.
It's like Jew's ear or wood ear or whatever we're allowed to call it. That's a really good one because it's similar. It doesn't really taste of anything. It's kind of like the pasta of mushrooms. but it's really good because you can dry it and dry it, soak it, and then re-dry it again, and it's not going to affect it. You just keep rehydrating it over and over again. But if you've got a little bit of meat, if like say you catch a pigeon, and you've only got a little bit of meat to feed you, if you sort of bolster it up with a load of Jews here, then you get a decent meal out of it, and it sort of tricks your brain into thinking it's all meat, you know.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, anybody noticed any questions from the side chat? Just while we're
Yeah,
getting near the
Rob,
end.
smile.
I caught that one as well.
He's tired. He's been working hard all week. Been on call, haven't you, Rob?
Yeah.
Poor little bunny.
Yep. Thankfully, that's done now. On holiday for a couple of weeks.
Whee.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously we're getting near an hour now anyway. So what we'll do, we'll just say goodbye there.
Yep. Anyone got any ideas on what we can talk about next week in the side chat?
Ooh.
I mean, what we can do as well, if people want to suggest topics and stuff, put a pin
Favourite
post in the
camping
Facebook.
foods to take with you?
Favourite camping food?
Why not?
Wild edibles.
Yeah, we can do one talk about food, scavenging and whatnot. Yeah, it's not bad. That's quite an expansive subject.
Yeah.
We can prattle on about for an hour. That's good. Yeah.
Ferg says camp cooking.
And ration packs and
Yep.
hiking packs and all that
Or
malarkey.
just sausage, bacon and egg?
Just
Yeah.
bacon. Where the rest of it come in?
Yeah.
Bacon, bacon, and bacon.
Yeah. There's no need to pollute bacon with other
Yeah,
stuff.
see, I've never bothered taking eggs because it's just going to break the bastards.
I've got to be honest, I've never took an egg myself because I know for a fact if I put it in my pack,
Yeah.
everything in my pack's going to get covered with it.
Yeah. Well, the other way of doing it is break the eggs into a bottle and then
Yeah.
screw the
Yeah.
cap on. And
I've
then
done
just
that.
Shake it up and pour it out, and you've got an instant omelette.
Yeah, I've done that. It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I've seen the ones where they put it in a Ziploc bag as well. You know, put the eggs in there, put a bit of milk, bit of butter, your vegetables, swirl it all up, and then put it in boiling hot water.
Whoa.
And then
and
squeeze
what?
it out.
Hold on. After the butter and milk, what was that?
I don't know what. What, cheese and things like that? You don't have cheese and things?
You said the V word.
What?
I can't say it. It's filthy.
What vegetables?
Oh, stop it. Make me ill.
But on the side chat, Grizzly J said he suggested snow camping,
Yeah.
and Basher Dweller says yes, camp cooking. Get the master, that Carlisle 195 to discuss it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to sort out his address and get him on here.
Yeah. I mean,
And
Red
I've got to
Owl's had
say,
another one.
Bergs, them stupid little plastic egg carriers are shit.
Yeah, but those egg carriers are made for car camping when you're out with the family or
Yeah,
something like
definitely.
that.
Yeah.
That's not to
Yeah.
go in your backpack.
But
I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got one, and they work well. They just
But Fergs also keeps eggs in his fallopian tubes,
he does.
which is quite a good way.
And he camps that close to water because if they float, they're not good, and if they sink, they're good to use, aren't they? So
That's right.
he camps that close to the water to make sure his eggs are fresh.
Right.
Clever boy.
So that's a few topics for next week. So
Excellent. Yeah.
that's our up for this week.
Yeah.
And
And don't forget to give us a like, guys, because
Yeah.
otherwise we'd just headbutt on the wall. And it's
Share.
Yeah.
Like, comment,
yeah.
subscribe.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't
like,
forget
comment,
the,
subscribe. Don't be shy, but
don't
obviously
forget
it's
the
just
Thomas.
just yeah. Rob wants a good thumb in.
Yeah.
But no, just to let us know to
Yeah.
bother to keep doing it. Otherwise, we'll just give up.
But thanks
Share.
thanks
Okay.
for being here. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.